Hey loves, happy Friday. It's Shelby. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. You know I love you. I'm Shelby. I'm the blogger behind Shelby.com. I'm also the owner of Shelby Christian Stationery. And today I am coming in with another studio vlog. I have some work. I mean, there's always work to do, right? Because everything's handmade. But I am trying to get caught up on stock. So I have some cards that I need to get packed. I also have some greeting cards. So I have like prayer cards that need to be packed, affirmation cards that need to be packed, greeting cards that need to be packed, and I also have some faith journals that need to be like punched and bound. Punch and bound. I don't know, you guys, I can't talk. That I need to punch and bind. But I might have to do that in a separate video because I don't think I'm having enough time to do those right now. But nonetheless, I have some products that I need to get together. So I figured I would hop on here, let you guys know what I'm working on, show you guys what I'm working on, and just take you guys with me as I work on the shop. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe, and I'm going to stop rambling so I can get to work. So hopefully you guys can see everything really good. I am trying to get some more greeting cards in the shop, and sorry, I just washed my hands, and so I'm really just enjoying filling on this paper. Anyways, so I just want to go ahead and get these greeting cards. Well, that worked out. Dropping stuff. I get these greeting cards all creased. Well, they already are creased, but get them folded up and get the envelopes put together with them, and the backboards done as well really quickly, since this won't take me too long. And then I'm going to start packing encourage cards. I'm really trying to make more of an effort to sell and promote my greeting cards because I do really love them. Obviously I love this illustration because I have this on a few different products, but you know, when you have so many items in your shop, it can be difficult sometimes to just make sure your customers and potential customers are aware of all the different items that you have available. So that's kind of one of the things I'm trying to work on and be cognitive of, whatever. Me and the words today. It's one of the things I'm trying to work on and just make sure I'm mindful of, is that like essentially no one knows what's in your shop like you do. And so you have to make an effort to just continually market all of the items that you have if you want customers to be aware and purchase. So working on being a little bit more mindful and intentional with that. I do a lot of pack with me videos, and since everyone's been buying the stickers so much lately, I think people are probably thinking that like I'm a sticker shop at this point because that's all you see me packing all the time. But I also recognize, because of those pack with me videos doing so well, sorry, I want to go ahead and record a video so I can post it on Insta Reels and TikTok. But because of those pack with me videos doing so well, it kind of makes it seem like those are like the main focus of the shop, which they are not. I mean, I'm so glad they're doing well, don't get me wrong, but those are not, like, to me, those were never meant to be like the main items in my shop. I really just wanted to focus on like true stationery, like greeting cards and the Bible verse cards when I created the shop. So that's one of the things that I'm kind of like, that's too small. That happens sometimes. So now this will end up getting used for stickers. But anyways, but that's one of the things I'm kind of, I don't want to say struggling with, but to a certain degree struggling with. Trying to just figure out how I can, because of course as an owner, like as a small business, you have ideas of what you think should be, you know, your best sellers or your popular items or what you think fits your customer needs, but you never really know until you put it out there, right? Which is totally fine. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong with driving the agenda, right? Like you have to do that for yourself and for your business. So I'm learning that, like, hey, great that y'all love this, but these items are really what I want to make sure you are getting, you know? These are the items that I want to make sure you're seeing more of. So just kind of working to like be more intentional, I guess, for marketing with the shop, especially as, you know, we continue to grow. That's one of the things I'm learning is important for me to be mindful of. But how are you guys doing? Do you guys own small businesses, or do you just like watching me, you know, pack and mess around with all the different stationery? I would love to hear from you on just kind of what brought you here, how you found me. Have you been around for a while and watched like the Bible study with me and just decided to continue on the journey, or did you find me because you like watching small business vlogs? So drop that in the comments and let me know, because I definitely want to know how you found me and why you like watching, and I can try to do more of that. That specific thing, obviously. But this is probably going to be my most talkative vlog ever, you guys. I have been, working a lot on the shop lately, and at the same time taking a lot of rest, which is kind of sounds counterproductive, right? But, I'm really getting better with balancing. I feel like just making a better go at prioritizing what needs to get done now, what is a someday idea, what is a right now idea, so that I can manage the various platforms that I'm on. If you don't know, I am also, in addition to the YouTube, in addition to the shop, I also do wholesale, and then for the Christian stationery, of course. And then I also, like I said at the beginning of this video, I also have blvd.com, the blog, which is really where all of this started. So even if you've been on my YouTube for a while, the YouTube even was after the blog. So I've had that blog I've been blogging since 2014, which is kind of crazy that I've been blogging for so long. And I feel like sometimes with the shop being like the major thing that I'm talking about for the last year or so, and that just being like, I mean, I feel like the shop really just kind of started in 2020 since I reopened it at that point. People probably think like, oh, she's new to, you know, doing XYZ. Like, nope, I've been doing online stuff for a really long time now. And I like doing the blog probably most of all, honestly, just because I like to write, and that was really the reason and the fuel behind being able to move forward with the shop, because the stationery allows me to also you know, share my writing. So I have the prayer cards and the affirmation cards. Actually, there's some sitting right here, and so I wrote, you know, all of these affirmations, and then for the same thing for this, like both of these are encouraged prayer cards and affirmations, but I wrote these prayers as well, and these verses are actually from the devotional that I wrote several years ago. So everything in the encouraged line is all inspired by the devotional that I wrote. So really the stationery was just another way for me to do my writing, but the you know, the blog and the books have always been like the core kind of thing, or like goal for me, is to really focus on the blog and the book. And so in my very long-winded way of talking today, my point was I am working really hard to get more consistent with the blog again. I used to do weekly posting, but once I started working full-time again, I couldn't do that. So during my vacation with the kids and the husband, while I enjoyed the sun and them fishing and camping out, I was writing for the blog. And so now I'm just working to get all of that content scheduled out, which is super exciting, just to get back to weekly postings. I mean, our core postings have been what have really carried us through as far as the blog. So people are still finding us from the Who God Says You Are blog post. There's a lot of Bible study tip blog posts that were super popular for the blog. So I have like several Bible study beginner tips. I have a video on it. I have a blog on it. I have, I have like a verse mapping blog post, a blog post on soap. There's actually a few blog posts on the soap method, because I also shared like a behind the scenes of my soap journal as well, just so people can see like exactly what I end up writing as a result of my Bible study with the soap method. But nonetheless, there's a ton of content on there, including some home organization content, which is really funny that it's done really well and becoming most popular blog post, along with our wedding binder blog post, which is just crazy. It's always crazy to see like what content becomes popular, because most of the time when I'm sharing stuff, I just share like whatever I'm doing currently in the moment. And of course, like that changes. Like obviously you're only getting married, like what, right? So I'm not going to consistently be making wedding blog posts. But while we were going through the wedding process, a good friend of mine had encouraged me to like write about it and just kind of like document the process. And I made like a wedding planning binder that I was actually using for our wedding. And so I ended up just making that into an item that was also available for sale. And that's become a very long-term popular item. It's like a printable wedding planning binder. So it's just kind of crazy to see like what things become popular with the blog, especially since it's been around so long and it kind of changes over time. But I'm really excited to just get back to my roots, because that really is my roots, is writing. For a while there, I had really gotten away from writing because, I mean, honestly, it's mainly just Satan getting the best of me. he already knows how to play on my insecurities, and so writing has always been, as much as I love to write, it's always been like an insecure spot for me, where I'm just not super confident in my writing at times. Very like critical of my writing, and I have always been, even though it's like since I was a kid been my favorite thing to do. Crazy, right? Anyways, so getting away from it, I already knew like when I stopped doing it that I needed to keep going, but I didn't. So long-winded story and long way of saying that I am doing my best to get consistent on all the platforms, writing, as well as doing YouTube videos, because I do like getting on here and sharing with you all. And then of course just staying consistent with the shop, because that's another avenue for me to share my writing. And then I am trying to, I'm trying to show up in a lot of different places all at once, which is not always easy, but you know, with God's grace, I'm going to do what I can when I can. It's just my attitude about the whole thing at this point. So I'm going to have to take the cards out because I don't have enough room. So I'm also, you'll see me posting more regularly on social media, because I really just want to work to be super consistent on all of the platforms. I have a few words of just encouragement, affirmation from somebody that I like to listen to, about just the importance of consistency and sowing into the gifts that God has already given you. And so I worked really hard to grow all of those platforms, the blog, the YouTube channel, and the social media, and then obviously the shop in the last year. So with all that work of like growing it and trying to get more exposure on there, I want to make sure that I'm being consistent with that, because I want to respect the gift that God gave me by allowing people to find me on all of those different platforms. So as much as sometimes it's like frustrating and it feels like a burden to do all of those things, I also recognize that it's not, it's almost like being ungrateful by not doing all of those things, because people don't have to follow me on social media. They don't have to follow my blog. They don't have to do any of the above. And so I just want to be respectful of that. So that's really like my point with being more consistent, just to be respectful of honestly the gifts that God has already given me, because it is a gift to be a part of people's spiritual journey. And if you haven't been to the blog and you need prayer, please do make sure you go to the blog and submit your prayer requests. I would love to pray for you. It's one of the things that is important to me to make sure I'm doing more of. So if I can put you on my prayer list, I very well would love to. You are not bothering me one bit by doing so. I will say, please don't send me your prayer list via social media DMs. I really strongly dislike DMs. I don't know why. I just don't like DMs. It's just a thing for me. Maybe it's because of like just the way people talk about DMs makes me feel uncomfortable. So I really don't like direct messaging with people, but I do love talking to you guys. So either you can always put a comment in, or you can email me. I'm very responsive via email as well. So yeah, super willing to talk to you anytime. I just really don't like DMs. So just the personal thing that it's no one's fault. No one did anything weird. I don't get like weird DMs or anything like that. I just don't like DMs. I don't know. It's a thing. But anyways, I am just examining the cards like I always do. You probably cannot even see this, but there's like a super small speck on here, and so I'm not going to use that card. And yes, like I said, you probably can't see it. Like sometimes I'll be doing this and my husband will be in here and I'll show him the speck and he'll be like, "Are you really serious right now?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm really serious. I'm not going to use this card if it has a speck on it. Like, I'm not using it." So yeah, I'm super picky about that. Like, I want everything to look good. Same thing with, ooh, see, this one has another speck on it. Same thing with like responding to emails. It'll take me forever to respond to emails sometimes, but that's because I'm like very analytical. So I always am like super analyzing my response and like wanting to say like I'm rambling so much the camera can't even keep up with me, y'all. But yeah, I'm just like super analytical sometimes, and I know I can overdo it. So I try to just push myself to respond to you all via email when I receive the email the first time, because I know that I'm not going to be able to come up with a perfect response. And I don't think anyone's expecting me to get a perfect response, but I expect that of myself, which is unrealistic at times. So something else that I'm trying to work on is just to respond and not worry about being perfect, because I'm never going to be perfect, which is something I have to tell myself all the time. But yeah, more specs. That's like one of the main kind of, I would say, let's see, one of kind of the main things that, oh, that's like, almost looks like somebody pierced it with an earring. One of the main things that kind of causes, I would say, I mean, essentially it's waste, because it's hard to find recycling in my area. But since I don't like to like use imperfect cards, I end up having to throw away a lot of these when they have, you know, little dots on them or things like that. And I think it's mainly I'm guessing it's the printer. It could also be the person that I get my paper from. Like, obviously it could be that, but yeah, I just don't like the cards looking messed up. So whenever you see videos of me packing cards and I'm taking forever,